So guys, we already heard that very interesting and funny story about that amazing pillow, and well, you missed it. And if you don't want to miss any of the things that get talked when the mic is off, then you should definitely watch and join us for the next UKSG. We haven't set the dates yet, but you should definitely join our Discord. And yeah, stay tuned for more informations. And now I have a big information for you, because we're gonna see Crash Bandicoot 2 N-Tranced any percent by our very own CDRomatron. Let's go.
Right, hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mike again. We're going to be playing some N-Tranced. Are we ready on the timer?
We are ready on the timer.
Okay, I'll do a countdown for 3 and we'll go and go. 3, 2, 1, go! So this is Crash Bandicoot 2 N-Tranced for the Game Boy Advance. This is the second handheld Crash game and the second on the Nintendo platform. The 2D platformers are a lot of fun, and I feel like there's a lot more room for, well, not more room for optimization, but there's a lot of room for optimization, considering we're taking away an entire dimension from the game. So it allows us to get through the levels pretty efficiently. Through the first few levels in the first world, we're going to be using the movement tech of sliding and spinning. Sliding is the fastest way to get around, but the end of a slide is relatively slow, so we can use. So the end of the slide is pretty slow, so we can cancel the end of the slide with a spin, which is regular walking speed. So the game is divided up into platforming levels and various vehicle levels. So platforming levels take the form of what you just saw previously. Aside from the first level, every level from now on is either going to have an Arabian, Egyptian, or prehistoric theme. The vehicle levels are broken up into the wakeboarding levels, which we're seeing here, where we're trying to run away from the shark and going towards the camera. And then there's also the Atlas Ball levels, which is going to be us twirling around in 3D space, which is very impressive by the GBA standard, but it doesn't play particularly well. There's also the space levels later on, which I'll get a bit more to when we get there. So we've collected 2 masks here. This is intentional, as during the third level, we're going to be abusing 3 masks. So, for those unfamiliar with Crash, the main aim is to collect crystals and defeat bosses. There are additional power-ups in the game, additional collectibles in the game, such as crystals and gems and colored gems. However, we're not going to be collecting any of those. So, in this game, Crash has masks, which is the form of Aku Aku. And what this is extra hit points. So we can collect 1 and we'll get an Aku mask, we can collect 2 and we have a golden Aku mask, and if we collect 3 we're invincible for a short period of time, which we can use to go through a lot of boxes. So we don't have too many moves at our disposal just yet. However, this takes the form of Crash 3 in the sense that we collect a lot of power-ups every single time we defeat a boss. So the pace of the game will be increasing significantly once we defeat the first boss. So that was the first Egyptian level. This is the first Arabian level. The theme of the level dictates what kind of enemies are in it, the backgrounds, the music, as well as various mechanics. For example, in these levels you have these monkey bars, which there's a really cool glitch in this game which allows you to hover infinitely after holding onto a monkey bar. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if the devs knew about it, however there's no convenient place to use it, and every place that would be convenient to use it has like a single metal crate that cannot be broken next to it, which is usually really out of place. So I guess we're never going to get the answer to that mystery. So this is the first Atlas Ball levels. These are not fun to control. It takes a long time to get used to them. All we have here is full 3D movement of Crash, as well as an accelerating button and a braking button. So we're coming to the first skip of the level here. These levels generally have some sort of skip. Almost. We'll go for that again, because the checkpoints are right next to it. So this saves us going around a bit of the level. It's not a huge time save, but you can fail it once and still save a bit of time. There's also a huge skip just about here, which we're not going to be taking, mostly because it's out of the way of the crystal. So an IL of this game would go down there and do this, like it would already be finished this level, whereas we need to go around here and collect that crystal. There we go. Those levels are not particularly fun to navigate. So this is the second Arabian level. We're going to be jumping up here, and if we get good with the cycles, we should just be able to jump along these. Almost. Okay, we took a hit there. Wasn't planning on that, but that's okay. We can work around that. So all cycles in this game are based on proximity, and what that means is that a cycle will only start when we approach it. So as long as we're going the right speed through a level, we will always make the cycles we need to, and if we need to stop for a second for whatever reason, it will only affect the cycles that are nearby us and won't affect all the cycles throughout the level, which is really pretty convenient. So there we would be collecting 3 masks. Unfortunately we did take a damage early, but we should be good. All that third mask would help us with means we don't need to drop down here. And now we need to jump up here. It's a little tough jump, but we should make that just fine. And now we can jump along these scorpions to save slowly going along there and having to detonate those nitros. So this is the first boss of the game, Evil Crunch. Evil Crunch is not too difficult. You can kind of just camp at the bottom and just wait for him. Basically we're waiting for him to have his back hit a nitro, and then we can shoot him. So during some of the Arabian levels, Crash gets access to this magic carpet where he gains a projectile attack, and there's not too much to that. There's also a similar power-up that we'll be getting during the volcano levels, or like the prehistoric levels I guess, where Crash gains a helicopter pack, and we just gain access to full movement up, down, left, right. So here's going to be the final hit. Okay, and we're good. So now we've unlocked the super slide. For those familiar with the game, this is when the game speeds up significantly. So now we can have access to a better slide, which is faster and takes us significantly further. So, almost messed that up, that was close. So, in this game, it's been known for a while that you can perform a wall jump by performing a super slide into a wall, and then there's an incredibly small window in which pushing the A button to jump will result in a jump off the wall. However, it's been found recently that you can buffer the A input, so during your slide, you can just hold down the A button and you get it every time. So that's made a lot of the tricks in this game a lot more consistent. So here's a huge skip at the beginning of this level, where if we roll off at the right speed and avoid all the kill planes, we can roll down here, and that saves about 30 or so seconds, so we've cut about maybe a third of the level out already. Now we just need to roll to the end. So we're also trying to minimize lag here as well. As you can expect, trying to do 3D on a Game Boy Advance is pretty intensive. So the game plays and feels like as slow as it looks when you're seeing these frame rate dips. So to roll across this shortcut. So yeah, we play as Crunch in all these Atlas Ball levels from here on out. It's just that first one we play as Crash. I think it's the idea is like, you know, we're recruiting Crash's friends after them being hypnotized. Ooh, there we go. I fell off that bridge recently in a marathon. That was not particularly spectacular. So here we can do a lot of really nice super slides over a lot of these pits. And if you perform a super slide on oil and then jump while still on the oil, Crash gains a huge jump. Those mummies require 2 hits, however if you hit them from the top right, we can essentially do both of the hits at once. Unfortunately we did drop a jump input there. This game does drop a few inputs, although it's all relatively predictable. I'm just not playing around that, I'm forgetting to stand still. So if you're in the middle of moving there, then when the platform is coming towards you, that will just drop your jump. There we go. Nope. Okay. particularly fun. I did something outside of what I normally do. There we go, that's what I normally do there. Right, so there's Hopping Coffins. Block full of seagulls. This is the second of the 3 wakeboarding levels. None of these levels are particularly bad to play through, as long as you know where these like boys are going to be coming from. So running into any of these will deal damage, and since we're at no masks, will just be an instant kill. So at the moment, I'm just waiting until we get to the point level where we get a mask, which is there. There's going to be a checkpoint coming up in a second, however we're going to dodge that because it's in the midst of some grass. So during these levels we're going to be spending as much time on the ground as possible because that's the fastest movement. If you got caught in grass, it's a significant slowdown, and any time in the air is also time wasted. However, you lose less time by being in the air than you do by being in grass, so we will take some time to jump off the grass. I don't think that's anything we need to particularly concern ourselves with. So this is the second volcano level. Here we're going to be using the super slide to get over a bunch of platforms. So we can leave a lot of these auto-scroller bits early. Wait, over here. Now we're good. So kill that for safety. Gonna break that because I've died so many times to bonking the bottom of that and getting a low jump. So this is the helicopter pack. This basically gives us full free movement up, down, left, right. We can sneak in beside that nitro box. Luckily there's just enough space for Crash to sneak by without getting hurt. And yeah, now we just need to ride this out to the end of the level. And that will be the conclusion of Warp 2 with the fight against Evil Coco. So we do a spin at the end of each of these levels. I'm not sure if it's been noticeable, but Crash's hitbox when he's sliding is of course significantly smaller, and by spinning it means we just get into the portal just a little bit faster. We've known for a while that during the max completion runs of this game, where you need to collect the gems appear on the portal, but the gems have a smaller hitbox than the portal. So if you super slide into the portal, you have a chance of finishing the level and not grabbing the gem on the way out, which luckily we don't need to worry about during this run, but it's just a nice thing to always be in the habit of doing. So here we're just waiting for Coco to drop her shields and hitting her as fast as possible. We can kind of camp along this left hand side for the most part of the fight. So now we just need to wait for her to be vulnerable again, which will be coming up just now. Cool. So this unlocks the rocket jump, which is a really neat power-up, which allows us to jump really high. And there's the one use of that power-up in the game. You're supposed to use it a bunch to get to like boxes and such, but there's nowhere where it's useful in the context of the run. So yeah, I just love the fact that the only use of the power up is just as soon as you get it. So there's these ropes where you can spin from rope to rope, and we can also jump up ropes. Originally, during 101%, there was a bonus which I used to hate until someone in Twitch chat who doesn't even run this game just says, "Hey, can't you just push up to stop falling down the ropes?" And like, the game manual barely tells you anything, and I never thought to try that. And now there's a lot of levels in this game which previously were very hard and are not particularly hard, due to people suggesting stuff they just kind of thought everyone knew. So yeah, there's the Warp 3 Arabian level. This is the final wakeboard level. So we want to leave this level with at least one mask. Ideally 2 for safety, but if we lose a mask, it's not the end of the world. So this is a really short level. As you can see, like we're not even aiming to break all the boxes, and we're already like just 10 left. This level is relatively short, and I just need to be careful to avoid the shark. So the shark will come and charge at wherever Crash is, and you notice at the end of the level, I always finish in the middle of the level. That isn't so much like, you know, something I'm always doing to just show off or something. The game does pull you towards the center. However, if you get unlucky with the cycles, Crash can be locked in the center of the screen, and the shark will be coming towards him, and he will destroy Crash, and there is nothing you can do about it. Luckily, if you play it well, you never need to worry about that, but when you're learning the game, it is something to be very cautious of. So this is the first space level. We're going to be playing as Coco throughout these, and most of this level just consists of mashing. This is basically the inverse of the wakeboard levels, where instead of going towards the camera, we're going away from the camera. So, so in these levels, Coco does have a health pool. You can see in the bottom left, and in the bottom right, there's this flare meter. So, from what I can tell, we're getting away from some exploding star or something along those lines. It's really vague. It's explained like in 2 lines of dialogue, and it doesn't explain it particularly well either. But so, by mashing the B button, the purpose of the B button is, in this game, is to boost you forward, and what that does is it brings you further away from the explosion. However, it also just gives you a speed boost, so there's at no point in this game where we actually need to worry about the explosion hitting us. We can just keep moving as fast as we can. In terms of tech during these levels, we're just aiming to go through all these boost gates and spend this little amount of time shooting enemies as possible. We have a very generous amount of health in this first level, so we don't need to worry about it too much. So this is Mr. Lava Lava. This level is fairly crucial, as we need to make sure we leave this level with 2 masks to save a significant amount of time in the next level. So we're going to miss that box there, because having 3 masks in this upcoming segment isn't particularly helpful and is a little bit of a hindrance. So we can spin to leave the rope early there and go down and collect this helicopter crate, which can bring us through a significant portion of this level. And now I just need to watch out for the lava. If you touch any of the lava, it will insta-kill regardless of how many masks you're on, so I just need to be careful to not touch that. There we go. Yeah, now we just need to ride this through, and we're almost at the end of the level here. The next level is the reason why we wanted to have 2 masks coming out of here, as we can gain a 3rd mask form very early on in the level, and the whole level is filled with oil, which means we can slide through it very quickly. So we're breaking that blue crate there. What that does is freeze all the enemies on screen for a period of time, which just means we can navigate the end of that level very safely. So this is Slip and Slide and Sphinx, and this level is very quick, and it's very satisfying to play through with 3 masks. So now that we're on oil, we can do super slides and go really quickly, which is quite nice. So there's a mask up there which we can get, but we're not going to because there's not much reason, because there's a mask just coming up here as well. So these shield enemies are not particularly fun to navigate. They just kind of get in the way. Play this safe and wait for these blocks. So if you get trapped under those blocks, those will just push you down and you'll just fall to the kill plane, which isn't particularly fun. This is Fake Crash. This is the 3rd boss. This boss is very quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's Fake Crash. His whole gimmick is that he mirrors your movements. However, luckily there's some spikes set just below you, and you can hit him on just about every available frame, so the boss can be done extremely quickly. So this is the final Atlas Ball level. As with last time when they introduced barrels, this time they introduced laser gates. So the way laser gates work is they just turn off and on a cycle, and of course that cycle is based on when we approach them, and all the cycles start turned off, so as long as I can get through all of them relatively quickly, we don't actually need to worry about any of the lasers. I'm gonna take this checkpoint for safety because there's a upcoming bit which is one of the hardest bits in the level in my opinion, where we have these barrels, and we need to line this up so that I can get through this all at once, because I don't want to get too close to the lasers, otherwise the cycles will start, but I can't go not far enough because otherwise the barrels start rolling at an inconvenient timing. So we're just coming to the end of the level here. Just need to get through these last few lasers. It seems that the game is lagging a significant amount, and if I roll off here at the right speed, and I did, we can do a little skip at the end there to save us going around. So we just need to roll to the bottom and not roll off the cliff. I've rolled off that cliff before. There is no guardrails there. You can just, you know, it is not particularly... I don't know who thought that was fun. They were wrong. So this is the final volcano level. It's not too much in this level. There's a really cool jump coming up here, which hopefully I get this right, which allows us to skip all of that auto-scrolling segment. And hopefully I don't land on the bonus. Good, I did not. I landed in that bonus during a... Back when I was aiming for a time in the 27 minutes, well, trying to get my first 26-minute time, I would have got it. I ended up with a time of 27:08, but I fell into the bonus, and the bonus is a very long cutscene of getting to the bonus, and then you need to leave the bonus, which cost me approximately 20 seconds. So unfortunately that has become my reputation of all things, yeah, so there's this little bit at the end where we're sliding along the ropes, and not much can go wrong here unless you fall down. So just aim on not doing that, and we're good. I don't know why that portal is slightly off the ground. If you just hold right there, unlike every other portal in the game, you will just fall to your death. You need to spin there to actually, or jump to enter the portal. So this is the final Arabian level. All we're going to be doing here is just having it through this as fast as we can. Nothing too special here. The end of this level is generally considered one of the harder bits in the game when people are learning this game for the first time, as it is relatively unforgiving. There's only one checkpoint at the very beginning, and there's not many masks throughout, so hopefully we get this all right. So here's an auto-scroller bit. Some parts of this level are extremely tight, and if you get jammed up against the end of the wall, like the edge of the screen, that's just an insta-kill. Amusingly enough, I'm not sure if it's a glitch or intentional. It's something as this game are really unclear. But if you get squished with masks, you actually still respawn with all the masks, which is not normal for dying in this game, or any Crash game for that matter. But I'm really not sure with this game. So we should bounce along these guys, which was okay. Now we just need to climb along these. So all these guys are going to be spitting fire down at us. There's all these scorpions are on these ropes, and then, yeah, there's all that fire beneath us. So we couldn't touch the ground during almost any of that segment. So this is spaced out. This is the final space level. This level isn't too interesting. I just kind of need to focus on surviving. We're going to be doing a lot of kiting of enemies during this level. What I mean by that is, some enemies will come to attack you near the front of the screen like these guys. So what we can do is we can essentially bring them towards the screen and then move away fast enough so that we don't actually get hit by them, but they still respawn. So unfortunately this level's relatively long. Even doing this as fast as you can, it still takes maybe 2 minutes 20. So it's a bit long. Just need to focus on keeping our health up. Unlike the last level, where it was fairly generous in terms of the amount of health you have, this level is less, so you can take a large beating in this level. These blue, like, asteroid things that are coming towards you are dealing a significant portion of damage. They deal like 25% each. Each of those little metallic enemies deal 10% each. Each of those meteors coming towards the screen do about 20. And a nitro, which is rare in this level, I think there's only 2 or 3. Well, I forget how much that deals, but that's also a significant portion as well. We're already down to 40%. but we should be fine. I just need to make sure we don't take too much more damage. You can essentially, the only enemies which at this point will pose a threat is these little like metallic enemies. We can afford to hit by one more essentially. So play this safe as I can. Okay, there was our last hit that we could have taken. So now I just need to... what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to take that checkpoint and just die. That just puts us back up to full health and despawns those enemies. So normally you don't go for a death abuse during this level, but because we were just at so low health there and we were right next to a checkpoint, it seemed like the right thing. Just lost maybe a few seconds at most. And then there's the end of the level. So yeah, we were almost at the end. But yeah, dying and gaming over in this level is really significant because it's really tough when people are starting out. And of course, when you have an auto-scroller essentially, which is, well, it's not an auto-scroller in the sense that you can't speed it up, but you can't really go faster than that. It's a little pretty inconvenient. So there's that enemy. We can take him out with either a slide, a spin, or a body slam. Body slams are the most consistent significantly. So we're taking the bottom route this level. This is along the lines for the secret item of the gem shard there. We're taking it just because it is the fastest way to get through the level regardless. The top level part of the level is pretty slow and you need to wait for a lot of water cycles and such. Okay, that was a close one. So we almost missed that crystal and there's no other way to jump back up. So that was close. But that's fine. So here we're coming to the final boss, N-Tranced. N-Tranced is two phases, a ground phase and a hover pack stage. So in this first stage, he's going to jump from side to side, and we just need to hit him as soon as he's vulnerable. There we go. There's not too much to this fight, we just kind of need to wait for him to jump from side to side. It doesn't pose too much of a threat. He fires the egg cannon thing at you, but if you just dodge out the way, he'll never hit you. So here we can camp in the corner and spin him. And here's the second phase. So here we need to dunk him into the lava pit. He's got 5 bits of health, and time will be as soon as that last little segment of health disappears from the UI. So there's 3 attacks he can do. He either shoot a lot of bullets at us, or he can do one of 2 status effects. That one there was inversing controls, so that switched up and down, switched left and right, and made A to spin instead of B. That's him shooting the bullets there. And he can also cause a lot of crash clones to appear on screen as well, although that one's the least impactful. So here we're just dunking him down and then dunking him along. It's just a really fast way of dealing with him, because he always comes to the side of the screen. And time will be coming up in a second. And time. $27.18. I'll take that. That's not a bad time at all. So yeah, that was the main bit of the story. So there is a lot more to the story in which, like, you know, there's a whole other world and such. But this is like the credits and essentially like the bad ending, which is like the fastest one you can get. But yeah, that was N-Tranced, so thank you for watching.